Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
On every episode of Video Game Hangover, we talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, that list is very long and it goes way, way back because we are kicking off our 2026 Summer Backlog Attack.
Yes, I'm excited.
It is that time of year.
Love the Backlog Attack.
Yeah. It's a little weird. It's been weird for a few years because we used to do the Backlog Attack 14 years ago when we started this shit because there were no games coming out in the summer.
Right.
And that is not a thing anymore. There are a lot of games coming out all the time.
Well, I feel like it's come full circle. Like, there used to be no games, and then there were way too many games, just games coming out all the time, and now we're back to no games anymore.
Oh, well, there's some games.
There are some games. It's not quite the drought that it used to be, but it's not, the heyday of, like, I don't know what was coming out 4 or 5 years ago, back when people could afford new video games every week.
Yeah. Remember those days? The salad days.
Yeah, right.
Back when people could eat salad. It's dangerous to do that.
True.
Now,
yeah, so, can't even do that anymore. Man, how many salads are you eating this week?
0.
The salad.
None. Yeah. It's too bad. I like a good salad, but not on the menu right now.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it is on the menu, but you shouldn't order it.
Yes. I mean, it could be. Yes. Yeah.
I think California was actually not in the regions where they did the salad recall. So I was
really?
Oh man, am I safe? Can I just keep on eating salads?
We were out on Sunday. We are, of course, talking about what is it called? Cyclo,
yeah, something like that.
Something. The poop lettuce. We were out this weekend running some errands, and as we are wont to do when we're out running some errands, we decided we were going to stop at Taco Bell for a quick lunch.
Yeah.
And we were wolfing down our Taco Bell in the car, and Sarah was like, "Oh no, the lettuce!" As we were like 3/4 of the way through our meal. So we both Googled, is the lettuce at Taco Bell okay now? And it is. They say it is, but
okay, yeah, just believe everything you read on Google.
Right, yeah. It is 3-ish days later at the time of recording, and there are no ill effects. So,
good.
Yes, I feel like I'm okay.
I was at the grocery store buying spinach, just a big bag of spinach. I took it out of the refrigerator, and like right at the top of the bag, it was like Taylor Farms or whatever. And I was actually like, just lettuce or spinach jump scare. It never happened to me before.
Yeah. It's too bad because my favorite pre-bagged salad kit is Taylor Farms.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, I guess I don't eat that anymore.
I don't even know how much like cross-contamination there was. Like maybe the spinach was fine. Maybe it was just the one lettuce. And also, again, I don't think it made it to California. But I put it back in the cooler that week.
Yeah. My lettuce alternative for this week, though, when I was grocery shopping, though, was bok choy, which I don't ever really buy.
I'm a big fan.
Couldn't beat the price. It was a ton. It was this giant plastic tub of it for like $1.50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could use a bok choy. So yeah, I'm branching out. I don't have to eat lettuce all the time. I don't have to eat kale all the time. Try some other green things.
Nice. Man, you need some bok choy recipes. I got you covered.
Oh.
Got all forms of bok choy.
Okay. We did it for dinner tonight, and I sliced them in half and kind of like put them down in some oil on the pan and kind of caramelize that side of them.
Yep.
And then a little soy and a little miso.
Yeah. Oh, miso. Interesting.
Yeah. And then put the lid on it and let them steam for a minute or two. They were really good.
Yep. Underrated vegetable.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And I have like...
You have like a whole crate of them, so...
A ton of it, yes. Yeah. I have a metric shit ton of bok choy I need to work my way through this week.
Nice. All right, got your bok choy backlog cut out for you.
All right, we should jump into the Backlog Attack conversation, I presume. This is... this goes back to kind of the early days of Video Game Hangover. It is one of those things like the holiday show that we have really kind of stuck with every single year, I think.
Yeah.
Have we ever skipped a backlog? No.
For some reason, I was looking through old episodes recently, I think we did not do it our first year.
Oh,
So I think it was maybe a year 2 invention, but
interesting.
I don't think we've ever skipped it. So
Cool.
it's been a real staple.
Yeah. So we try to be current-ish with some of the games that we're playing, typically throughout the course of the year. But we wanted to carve out kind of 1 month in the slow release schedule days of the summer to dig into our backlogs a little bit and try to clear out some of the games that we've been sitting on. So we're going to do that for the end of July here and into August. This is a team sport. We would love for folks to play along with us. We've certainly invited the folks in our VGH Discord community to dig into their backlogs as well and commit to clearing out some games this summer. We've got a pretty good response thus far, and some folks are working on their lists for things they want to get through. So we'll encourage our listeners to do the same. If you want to play along with us, make sure you go to VGHangover.com and find the link to our Discord where you can jump in and chat about the games you're playing. And we'll have some side missions and some other little challenges for you throughout the course of the summer to log and share your playthroughs. And we may have a little something in store for the community at the end of the summer. Some fabulous prizes.
Yeah. We used to do this contest every year, and the last couple of years we kind of stuck to, we'll just do it ourselves. So there's no contest, and people were like, "What happened to the contest?" So it's coming back. We'll have more info next week.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Cool. So any sort of like guiding, I don't know, theme to your list for this year, DJ? Have you, all one console, all a particular year, all one genre? How did you decide what you want to play for your summer backlog attack?
There's no theme this year. So some of the previous years I've tried to scrape together a theme, but my whole methodology at this point is throughout the year, whenever I think of a game or whenever a game gets mentioned, I'm just like, oh, I never played that. Oh, that's like I'll just put on this list of future backlog titles, and then when August rolls around, I see what's on the list. I do like my approach to this has been sort of like not necessarily what's been sitting in shrink wrap on my shelf, but sort of like semi notable games from gaming history that I have just never played for one reason or another. So that's kind of how I made my selections, or that's how stuff ends up on that list in the first place.
Oh, gotcha. So these aren't necessarily games that you've had for a long time, but they are, sort of appreciated games that you never got around to.
Yeah. I think that they have,
Gotcha.
They are games of some, I want to say like, in some cases, historical significance, in some cases, like personal significance. Like, I never played, like, what did I do last year? There was some, like a few years ago, I played some lost, like, Enix Super NES RPG that never made it outside of Japan, and that was like, man, that was like all I wanted to play back during the Super NES days. So to like sort of unearth one of those games was very exciting.
Gotcha. So of some sort of significance to your kind of personal gaming history.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Mine is just games I bought and never played. So it was, I've really gone hard with the Steam Deck for the last year and a half, 2 years or so. And, which means of course I'm a sucker for a Steam sale.
You're playing through the entire Steam catalog.
Yeah. So I, for the first time ever, I have like a ton of games in my Steam library that I just bought and either checked out for a minute or two, or were like, I'll get to this, and just haven't gotten to it. So that was the first thing I just scrolled through my Steam library to see what was sort of achievable, what could I realistically like chunk out over the course of a month to play. And then when I ran out of kind of semi-interesting things there, I hopped over to the Switch, which has a huge backlog of games that I've bought over the course of, when did the Switch 1 come out? 2017. Since then, of games to get to. So that's how I kind of landed on mine. And then made a little spreadsheet of games by length and, again, try to decide what was sort of achievable for the summer.
Yeah.
I also have a very long, like flyaway leisurely vacation at the end of August. So I was trying to think of like ending with a game that I could take on vacation with me.
I was wondering if you plan to be like gaming during your vacation, or if you're gonna, leave it at home. Just be like, nah, no gaming.
Yeah, I don't ever game as much as I think I will on vacation. But there's always the sort of the plane ride to and the plane ride from, and maybe a couple leisurely moments in between. So it's easier when we do like a beach vacation and I can sort of sit under an umbrella or on a deck somewhere and bust out the Switch. But this won't be that vacation. So we'll see how much gaming I can get in. But by design, I've picked a very long game to go last that I'll just take on vacation with me and hopefully make some progress on.
All right. I wonder what could that possibly be?
The lists, my list for this year will be, in no particular order, Choo-Choo Charles. Which I'll talk about this week, actually, because I played that already. Portal Revolution, 1,000 Times Resist, which I've started, but didn't really get super far in. Bioshock 2, which I've never played. And the crazy long game that I will end with will be Persona 5.
Yes. Taking bets now on how far he gets into it.
Okay, so here's my Persona 5 story. If we may entertain me, or if I may entertain you with a little side story here.
Yeah, I'm always, Persona 5 is always time for Persona 5.
Persona 5 came out in the US in 2017, like February, I think. And I played it a lot. A lot on my PS4. I think I took a day off from work to play it. If I remember correctly, back when I did such things. I was that excited for it to come out. I like the Persona games. I've played most of them that I had access to at some point over the course of my life.
Like the modern releases.
Yes.
Like Persona 3 I think is where I think that generally the world became aware of Persona.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5 I've played. And they did, they released one of the previous ones.
Maybe. Yes. In various
on something.
forms. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was very excited about it. Played a ton of it upon release. Like 70-ish hours, I think. That save is probably still on my PS4 somewhere. Like a lot of Persona 5. And never got to the end. In fact, like over the years of talking about the game with other people, there are characters I've never seen. There's a character who joins your team at some point in the game that I've never met.
So not even like, you did pick up this one social link or whatever, like actual main playable characters that haven't joined your party yet?
Correct. So there is, there is still some Persona 5 to explore. How Long to Beat says this game is anywhere between 100 and 150 hours. So I could have just been halfway, honestly. And then in the years since, they've put out Persona 5 Royal, which added, I think, another main character and a bunch of other side quests and things you could do. So the version of it I will play now on my Switch will be the Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pick up where I left off on the PlayStation 4.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah, it's a shame, but
I mean, you'd probably only have to do like 10 more hours, but it'd be like the most confusing 10 hours ever.
What if I was just right there? What if I was so close?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to start Persona 5 over again and try to get to the end because that would be a thing.
Oh man, that is ambitious.
Yeah.
To be clear, it's not like week 4 of the Backlog Attack, you're gonna, go from start to finish on Persona 5. It's like you'll begin a concerted effort to get to the end of Persona 5.
Sure, I'll maybe talk about a little of it depending on where it lands in the calendar as we kind of wrap up the Backlog Attack for the summer, and then hopefully we'll have much more to share later this fall.
Man, it would be something if 2026 was the year you played both Dragon Quest VII and Persona 5 in their entirety. Like, what's a third game we can just dump in there? What can we squeeze in?
Oh, well, I have also played a lot of Expedition 33 this year.
Oh my God. That was all this year?
I started that Christmas time last year.
Okay.
But I think most of my play hours were in January of this year.
Yeah, that might be the trifecta.
Yeah, I stopped playing Expedition 33 so I could play Dragon Quest VII. Because there was still stuff to do in Expedition 33. Yeah. But I rolled credits and was in the post game and stuff like that. So I felt a sense of completion.
Skyrim? Did you ever play Skyrim?
Never played Skyrim.
The Witcher?
Skyrim, no.
Any of the Witchers? You could do a couple of those?
I tried to play Witcher 2 and did not care for it.
Well, maybe it's time for a second look at The Witcher 2.
It's a little too ambitious to try to get into the summer, but
I'm not thinking this summer. I'm just, after you've completed Persona 5 and you're just like looking for anything else to do because you're so bored.
Well, I'm one of those freak people who is not excited about Grand Theft Auto coming out this year.
Yeah.
I don't think that I will be playing that, but I am kind of oddly excited about Final Fantasy Resonance coming out this year. I've not really played a Final Fantasy game before, and this one looks really good to me. So if timing and availability and reviews support it, I might be playing my first Final Fantasy game this year. So it is the year of RPGs.
I gotta say,
the year of JRPGs, but
you've been talking up this game so much. I know you're super excited to play it, but this doesn't count, right?
I know what doesn't count.
It's not a real Final Fantasy game.
Well, because it's not a numbered Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I love those. What am I searching for? I love those like Pikmin games, and then you're just talking about like the Pokemon Go version of it.
Oh, I see. You're that kind of game.
Oh, no. I mean, look, it's my job as a Final Fantasy fan to keep as many people out of the fandom as possible. So, but I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see what you think of whatever that game turns out to be.
Yeah. Well, I will see as well. The thing. I don't want to make this about Final Fantasy Resonance. We'll talk about it in the fall when it comes out. I think it comes out in October. But it started off as, and this, you've told me this, as a mobile game. And that's the part that makes me nervous. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm also kind of skeptical. I mean, and I played the mobile version.
Yeah.
But my thinking is, if they think that they're able to turn the mobile version into something that works and is compelling as a standalone console version with all the mobile intrinsic hooks, then maybe there's something worth checking out. So I'm trying to keep an open mind.
It looks really good, though.
It does look pretty good.
So that is my list.
All right, man, that is
it's ambitious. Did
you explain what Portal Revolution is?
I did not. No. Portal Revolution is a I was going to say fan-made, but I don't think it's... clearly they were fans, but it's kind of an indie-developed prequel to Portal 2. This is not some weird little bootleg thing. This is like sanctioned by Valve.
Oh, really?
Came out a couple of years ago. They gave them... I don't want to get the story wrong. I'll talk about it more when I play it, but like Valve was permissive of this happening. I think it sort of started as a mod, but then it kind of evolved into a full campaign. It's like 8.5 hours long. There's like 50 new test chambers, a bunch of kind of new characters and stuff like that, and new mechanics. But it is this little oddity that sort of fits into the Portal 1 and Portal 2 world. Came out in 2024. To some acclaim, and I bought it at the time, very excited about it. I'm like, oh, more Portal, and then never played it. So while scrolling through my Steam catalog, I was like, now is the chance. I should finally play Portal Revolution.
That's cool. I had actually never heard of it. So,
oh, cool.
I am interested to hear how it goes.
Yeah. Big Portal fan. I know you are as well.
Oh, yeah.
So excited for this.
Nice.
not excited enough to play it 2 years ago, but
Well, I mean, you're probably still playing Persona 5 at that point.
I probably was. Oh, the thing that I didn't mention, and I've sort of backtracked it, is that I stopped playing Persona 5 in 2017 because the Switch came out and I started playing Breath of the Wild.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
And then played that for like 250 hours. So 2017 was a wild year.
Yes, yeah. I should have just made my entire list be getting through the rest of Tears of the Kingdom. I still need to do that.
Yeah. I've not done that either. So
that's turning into a real Persona 5 situation for me, where I'm like, do I restart? Because I did a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
I don't know. The way you progress at that game is so weird because it's so like it's largely unguided. So it's like, sure, I played it for 40 hours, but I don't even know like what I was doing in those 40 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you and I having a conversation shortly after the game came out, when we both started playing kind of at the same time. And I like walked east while you walked west, and we just had a completely different kind of onboarding experience with this game. So it is very much a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Oh man, what am I going to do with that game? I feel like I probably have to start over.
We might have to, yeah. Maybe we need to pick a month that's going to be Tears of the Kingdom month, and you
Breath of the Wild month. You looking forward to that Ocarina remake this year? Supposedly this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Ocarina. It's not my favorite Zelda game, so we'll see.
I was just thinking, like, instead of GTA 6 counter programming, do some Ocarina remake counter programming, play Tears of the Kingdom. But like, I don't know, that's coming up. Yeah,
that would be audacious on Nintendo's behalf to go up against GTA with that.
Yeah, well, people are saying like it's maybe the one game that could actually do it.
It's this year's Barbenheimer.
Yes. No, I mean, people are saying like, yeah, Nintendo, do it. Do the Zelda Barbenheimer.
A Grand Theft Zelda.
Yeah, well, everybody else is, trying to shuffle out of the way, shuffle their release dates. Zelda or Nintendo could just be like, oh yeah, we're coming out the same day. You
just steers into it. Yeah.
Pick them both up at the store. Get your little slip of paper with a download code for GTA 6, and then the game key card or whatever Nintendo's going to do.
Right. So DJ, what's on your list?
What's on my list? Oh man, I have a weird list this year. I always like to just like throw it to the Discord before the Backlog Attack starts out. I'll collect 4 logos of the developers who made the games on my list and see if people can guess what the games are based on just the developers. And I have to say, I thought people were going to have a harder time, but people guessed almost all of them. So that was impressive.
Nice.
First title on the list is, this is going way back. I'm playing Wizardry, Proving Ground of the Mad Overlord. This is one of the first dungeon crawler games. Not the first, I think, if you're really keeping score. But I think it does have the claim to fame of being one of the first RPG video game where you have a party of characters. So that's kind of interesting. And I'll be talking about this later on in this episode, but it's like a super old school dungeon crawler. It comes up very frequently when like other developers of like RPGs that I've really enjoyed talk about games that have inspired them, or if you just like trace back sort of the lineage and inspiration of other games, Wizardry comes up quite a bit. So I was very curious to see what it's all about. Next on the list, let's see what order am I going in? So next on the list, I was going to play something by Polyphony Digital, who they're famous for only making Gran Turismo games. So of course everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be a Gran Turismo game." And then one person in the Discord, I'll have to check it, confirm who later on, was like, "Yeah, they made one game that was not Gran Turismo, which was Omega Boost." And that is correct. I'm going to be playing Omega Boost, which is sort of like Polyphony Digital's take on a rail shooter. So essentially Star Fox. I think this came up like around when the Star Fox remake was getting announced. People were like, Hey, remember Omega Boost? And I was familiar with the name, but I never actually played it because it's an old PS1 game, and I was probably playing Final Fantasy at the time. So looking forward to checking that out. Next is sort of along the same lines as Wizardry. I'm going to be playing Tower of Druaga, which is a very old action RPG. One of the first action RPGs, if I'm getting my sources correct. Very, very old game. There's always like one game on the list every year that I'm a little nervous about. I'm just like, this might be going back a little too far. But a lot of it is just sort of like, you know, it's sort of like a historical artifact at this point. So I'm just curious to see how it plays. Basically, you're some guy who has to make his way up some number of floors in this tower, collect a bunch of treasures along the way. It's famous for being very obtuse in the way that you solve the puzzles on each floor. So I'm going to make, I sort of like structure my attempt at playing this. I'm going to play for some amount of time with no like external guidance or hints or anything to see if I can just figure out anything that's going on. And then at some point I will like open up a walkthrough or something so see if I can actually make sense of the rest of the game. But again, another one of these games like Wizardry that gets cited quite a bit for being inspirational to a bunch of other games. I think like Zelda, especially among them. So that should be cool. And then finally, Rare is back on my list this year. Last year I played, what was it? Banjo-Kazooie? That was all right.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
At some point I was like, okay, Banjo-Kazooie, kind of into it. I didn't like bounce off it as much as I was expecting, considering that I'm not the biggest fan of 3D platformers. So this year I'm going all in and I'm going to play Donkey Kong 64, which not a beloved game, definitely not as much as Banjo-Kazooie. But the whole point of this is just I want to know what's up with this game. So that should be fun. Or maybe it should be an experience. Either way, how it goes. So, looking forward to that.
Have you ever played that?
I have not. No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is that where the DK rap comes from?
It is. Is this? Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. That's my association with it as well. Yeah.
His coconut gun. All right. Well, I have some DK rap in my future.
Huh. That is the only game on your list I've heard of. So the others will be an education for me. Yeah.
It's going to be an experience. I think like Wizardry so far has been pretty good. I have high hopes for Omega Boost. We'll see how the other two go.
You're planning on you've already done some streaming of these, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be. I'm gonna play at least the beginning of each of these on stream. I'm gonna be streaming on Thursdays at I think 5 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, so I already played through some Wizardry. For the next 3 weeks after that, I'll be doing, I think in this order, so Tower of Druaga, Omega Boost, Donkey Kong 64, and we'll see how those go.
Nice.
And that'll be on my own channel. I'll put the link in the show notes in case you want to see how all these ancient artifacts of gaming shape up in 2026.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. We should update everyone on the schedule for Video Game Hangover for the month. We are actually going to go back to being weekly for the duration of the Backlog Attack. So for the next 5 weeks, we'll have 5 episodes in a row every week. So
yeah,
now is a good time to make sure you've hit the subscribe button.
Yeah. Don't want to miss out on all that Tower of Druaga discussion.
5 weeks of Choo-Choo Charles.
Yeah, man. I want to hear about Choo-Choo Charles.
Well, have I got a treat for you? I started Bioshock 2, but I've played a ton of it to sort of weigh in yet.
So wait, before we get into Choo-Choo Charles, so I I heard Bioshock 2 is not great, but then like everybody says the DLC is really good.
Oh, it's the Minerva's Den.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out as well. It is, I bought a couple of years ago, I bought the Bioshock collection for the Switch.
That just has everything.
It has 1, 2, and Infinite in it, and it has all the DLC for all of them that ever came out. So,
Okay.
I've played 1, I've played Infinite. I had never played Bioshock 2. I think it was a little controversial when it came out. It was not the same developers.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't the same
2K kinda
developer.
went rogue,
It was like a very different concept from the first one. Yeah, I think it was kind of questionable. But then like I think the DLC is like universally beloved. So I've always been kind of intrigued despite not really feeling the need for more Bioshock.
Yeah. Yeah. I am. The conceit of Bioshock 2 is that you play as a Big Daddy.
Yeah.
And which is not a thing that you could do that I'm aware of anyways in Bioshock 1. And it just seemed like, I don't know, it was sort of focus grouped. Like there was a group of people sitting around a table going, what would be the coolest thing you could do in Bioshock 2?
It was very much that era of video games, I think.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, be the boss, be the Big Daddy.
Which is like kind of a cool concept if you just like, in isolation, but I just did not really have confidence in, developers of that era to like, oh, here's a thoughtful, investigation of what it's like to live as a Big Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, this was a very sort of common thing at the time too, was like you play as a very powerful character, but they create some conceit early in the game where you lose all of your abilities. So you're Spider-Man, but you don't have anything. You can't do anything, or you're Superman, but you can't fly, et cetera, et cetera. So you're a Big Daddy, but you have none of your abilities. You still have to drill, but it runs on fuel, and the fuel runs out very fast. So you've got to upgrade that. So again, the game sort of falls all over itself to give you a progression path. For a character that ostensibly should be sort of powered up from the beginning. So it's, I don't know. It's just like the early trappings of it are a lot of things I don't like about video games. It's also kind of a first-person shooter, and I don't really like those so much these days either. So this will be an experience. It is quite pretty. Even playing on the Switch, it's lovely. It is sort of post-events of Bioshock 1, so it's Rapture destroyed by everything you did in the first game. So it's a bit of a mess, and it's 10 years later, so there's like coral and stuff growing everywhere and leaks and et cetera, et cetera. So it's it's the same world you were in the first game, but it's definitely sort of aged and taken some abuse. But it's still quite striking. It's all Art Deco. It's all very Ayn Rand. And quite good looking, even on the Switch too. But more to come on that. Played it for a couple hours. It was fine. We'll see. It didn't like make me think, oh geez, I should have played this 15 years ago.
Yeah. I think that wasn't the DLC. It might have even been like a standalone thing. So could just go directly to that. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe you should confirm whether that's true or not.
I checked out there's like an extras menu you can go into when you load up the game. The classic Nintendo, only the first Bioshock is on the cartridge. The other two you have to download.
Yeah.
But all three of them show up on the menu of your Switch. But I went into the extras, and it has the Minerva's Den, and there's something else, some other piece of DLC or add-on for Bioshock 2. So I will make a point of checking both of those out. But yes, I like you have heard and had heard that Minerva's Den, the DLC for Bioshock 2 was kind of the best part of that game.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Choo-Choo Charles is the game that I spent the most time with. And I say most time, but it's not a very long game. It clocks in just under 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. This was kind of a big internet meme for a little while. I think this has sort of like Snakes on a Plane kind of vibes to it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where the central conceit is that there is a giant choo-choo train named Charles, who actually has like spider legs and can get up and like walk off the track and chase you through the woods.
Yeah. Pretty terrifying.
And yes, yeah. Yeah, so he's got like a huge menacing face that is kind of horrible and big hairy spider legs. And you have been charged with going to the haunted island where Charles lives, and like building a train that can take him on. So you get like this shitty old train car, and you have to ride it on the tracks of this island to other people's houses and survivors and people who are like hunkered down, whatever the word is.
People are living on this island already.
People live on the island with this scary spider train.
Okay.
Yeah. In like compounds, in like farmhouses, they're all like sitting on their front porch holding a gun. Not the most welcoming, but they're excited for the help. And they give you missions. They give you sort of like, hey, if you go do this thing, I'll give you some scrap, or I'll give you a flamethrower, or I'll give you a rocket launcher that you can mount on your train to take on Charles. There's like a subplot of eggs that are going to hatch, and there's going to be the spawn of Choo-Choo Charles.
Yeah.
So you've got to find and destroy the eggs, but there's cultists that are protecting them.
The train eggs raises a lot of questions.
There's not a Mrs. Choo-Choo.
Okay, yeah, that was the first question.
So I'm not sure biologically how these came to be. If that is explored in the game, there's like notes you can read and stuff. And at some point I got to a place in the game where I no longer cared about the lore of Choo-Choo Charles, and I kind of stopped reading all the memos and notes and things. It's super meme worthy. I think it was good for a little while for like screenshots and funny GIFs. And that's kind of it. Like beyond the initial shock, and pretty early, like the first time you board the train and you go a little bit, like Charles appears. Mm-hmm. And you have a quick battle with him, and you don't do so well. And from there, you don't really see him a ton. You're trying to sort of kid out the train. You get a lot of direction about avoiding him. So you do have to sort of stop the train sometimes to hit the switch on the side of the tracks to go around where Charles was last sighted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're really just trying to sort of like build up your defenses and your armor and your weapons so that you can survive kind of a final battle with Charles. And that was kind of fun and silly. But like the 2.5 to 3 hours of work to get there were like a slog. It was remarkably dull for something that should be kind of funny and cheeky and like a monster movie. It just did not have like, I don't know, the sense of humor, the self-awareness to sort of sell what it really was.
So does he show up at all in the few intervening hours?
You get instruction to avoid him. So if you don't avoid him, you basically run into a battle that you can't win.
Right. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but like if you're like out running around in the woods, like trying to like get to somebody's farmhouse because he's going to give you some scrap metal to upgrade your train.
Yeah.
Like the first, 45 minutes, I was sort of like, ooh, I hope Charles doesn't pop out and get me while I'm on foot. And he doesn't. I don't know if I'm just lucky, but that was not my experience with this game. So, he's not much of a threat. Like it's spooky. But once I realized that like I could just kind of walk around and do whatever the hell I wanted, and Charles is not really going to get me. There really is nothing else that's a threat to you. The cultists, you don't have weapons. You have to like sneak around them. It is remarkably dull as well. It's just, I don't know, like Snakes on a Train is the thing I keep going back to. Like at some point, the director of that realized that like the memes were going to sell tickets to that movie. And they went back and they filmed extra stuff of Samuel Jackson saying funny things. And I want these mother effing snakes off the mother effing train or plane. And I don't know that these developers, I think they're called 2-Star Games, which is appropriate.
Prophetic.
Had the budget or the direction to really sort of embrace the joke of this. So it's a bit of a bummer. I was kind of, I don't know if I was excited about it, but it looked fun to me.
Yeah.
And what a goofy thing, sort of running around in the woods, driving a train, trying to avoid the giant spider train. And it somehow managed to only be 3 hours long and overstay its welcome.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, man, at least it's only 3 hours long.
Yeah.
It does feel like it, they loaded everything into the opening sequence where he, first pops up and chasing you on the train. Are you on the train at that point?
Yes. You are, yes.
Yeah, that seems very intense. But just looking at sort of the Steam page and the screenshots and everything, I was like, well, it feels like it would just get exhausting if you're just on the train the whole time. And then it's also kind of where you just get off and wander around and there's like nothing threatening you.
Yeah.
So I feel like they really like designed it to blow people away in those first 10 minutes, and then like who cares if they play the rest of the game?
Right. It was a good trailer and a couple of funny GIFs, but it, like as a package, it doesn't really add up to anything significant. Yeah, it needed to be funnier, or it needed to be more self-aware, or it needed to be gorier. Like, is this a horror comedy? Is this a comedy? Is it Sharknado? Right? I mean, that is the prototype for what this could have been, and it feels like the developers didn't know what direction to go with it, which is a bummer. I have since read that this sold a bajillion copies, and the developer is working on their next thing. So good for them. That's exciting. I mean, not every game sells a bajillion copies, and they got lightning in a bottle. But I'm here to say, unfortunately, I was a little disappointed by Choo-Choo Charles.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you know what the next game is?
I don't know that if that was in the article I read, but yeah.
Be interesting to see if it's like, is it Choo-Choo Charles 2? Is it another train game or without Choo-Choo Charles?
Let me see if I can find it.
A match 3 puzzle game. They just go in a completely different direction. I don't know.
What is their next game? Cuff Bust. No, this is a mobile game they already made. All games.
It does feel very much like Sharknado or whatever you were calling out. Like it felt like, I don't know if Sharknado was the genesis of the whole wave of movies that seemed exactly like that, but it feels like the same sort of thing. Like, let's make a stupid trailer, and I'm sure like the first 20 minutes of Sharknado are ridiculous, but then I don't imagine a lot of people like sat through the rest of it.
Yeah. I think you have to like embrace the absurdity a little bit to kind of make things like that work. And
it seems like we're going to get together with a bunch of my friends. We're going to all go to the theater opening night. We're going to be super high, and it's going to be the best movie we've ever seen.
Right.
But it feels like it was like, this is why I didn't see Snakes on the Plane. Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on the Plane is the European version. I was like,
Snakes on the Plane.
Yeah. I was just like, I feel like the window for having like a good experience with this movie is probably opening night at midnight or whenever, and then after that it's just like, why even bother? Because I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe if you had like a Choo-Choo Charles, like not watch party, but the gaming equivalent where everybody come over, we're gonna play some Choo-Choo Charles. Could have been something. There's no multiplayer or anything. It's just a single player experience.
Yes, yeah, no multiplayer.
Yeah, man. I was just thinking, like, man, what if it was like Dune Crawl, and you each person, all of your friends had something they were supposed to do on the train. Like one person is an engineer, one person is manning the giant anti-spider cannon in the back car. Could have been something.
Yeah, like Sea of Thieves, but it's you versus a giant spider
Yeah.
train. Yeah.
It's going back
Yeah.
to Lost Planet 2 again.
Yeah. I don't know what to chalk it up to. I didn't do a ton of research, but like if it was just a lack of maybe not like a lack of ambition, but a lack of resources to like fully flesh it out, or I, having a hit trailer doesn't necessarily equate to selling games. So I'm not sure. It just sort of felt like it kind of landed with a thud, and I kept thinking throughout the entire thing like this should be more something, should be scarier, sexier, goofier, funnier, whatever, and it just was a bit meh. Like, yeah, there's a character who like loves pickles and can't get them in the Choo-Choo Charles Island, so you have to like sneak around and try to find a jar of pickles for her, and I'm like, this should be hysterical, and it's not.
Yeah,
it's just tedious.
I always really hope that like all B movies or B movie games should be just incredible, like sort of tongue-in-cheek works of art. And then they never are. And I'm just like, why can't every game be like Just Cause 2? What? It feels like it's just so hard to hit that precise balance.
Yeah. It was hard for Just Cause was tough for me because I was not expecting a video game to sort of embrace that. So it was like, what is this? The first time I kind of got, I think I famously, maybe infamously, remember not enjoying Just Cause when it first came out.
Oh, really? Were you talking about Just Cause 1?
Yes.
Oh, I never played that one. I looked at that and I was like, this looks like every other video game coming out.
Right. But then the developers sort of got it, like understood the assignment and understood the joke. And just steered it into absurdity. And that made Just Cause super fun. Because 2, 3, and 4, there's 4 of those, right?
It was 4 of them,
yeah. Were a pretty good time. If not sort of like more of the same. But
not to disparage the developers, because, for all I know, maybe it was completely intentional. I am not convinced that they knew what they had with Just Cause 2. Like, I'm not convinced that that's the exact game that they set out to make. Like, this is what the voice acting is going to sound like. This is, the main character's dialogue is going to sound this exact level of cheesy. I feel like at least some of that had to be by accident. But it just, it just worked out perfectly.
It just kind of worked out, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't. It worked out so well. I didn't play Just Cause 3 or 4, but I imagine that they. I mean, from what I've heard, they were not quite the same mix of like zaniness that Just Cause 2 managed to strike. But that's the thing. It's like there's so many experiences like that where you just think, you couldn't recreate this if you tried, because it just feels like all these. Everything feels like accidentally this good. Like everything just, it's a miracle it all came together somehow.
Right. It works because it's accidental. And if you try to engineer it like a sequel to Bioshock, then it sort of loses the thing that makes it surprising.
Right.
Yeah, because that just sort of feels like, I would say, sort of like assembled in a boardroom.
Yeah. If you just to keep piling on metaphors, it's like lightning in a bottle. You try and recreate it. It's like, well, we just can't have that same thing twice.
Yeah. Yep. This is the last thing I will pile on Choo-Choo Charles. Is that it also occurred to me, like maybe I'm not the target audience for this, because there is this like subgenre of games now that are clearly like scary games geared towards little kids.
Oh, really?
Because it's the Five Nights at Freddy's, and what's the other one? It's like Inkwell or something like that.
Inkwell.
And there's the,
I don't know if those are like necessarily, or like they were originally targeted at kids, were they? I mean, like Five Nights at Freddy's, I think was just that guy wanted to make a scary game, but I don't think it was specifically like, oh yeah, little kids are going to play this.
Oh, but I think they've sort of become adopted by kids, and then the sequels kind of steered into that, right?
I can see that, yeah.
There's the what's the one that's the big hairy monster with the giant teeth?
This is Poppy Playtime or whatever.
Poppy Playtime, there you go. Which is, horror for little kids. And I was wondering like if that's what they were going for with Choo-Choo Charles, because you said, oh, it's like a what did you say it was? What's the train thing?
The train thing. Oh, Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank Engine, yes.
Well, I mean, this is before I had seen any screenshots of it. It just sounds like, Thomas the Tank Engine at home. We got Choo-Choo Charles. Or maybe that was like a minor character from Thomas the Tank Engine that I'd forgotten about.
In which case I'm not sort of, if it is sort of deliberately intended to like appeal to children, then I'm not the target audience for it anyways. But
I don't think so.
Dull.
It's pretty horrific looking.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering, like, you said it came out in 2024. Five Nights at Freddy's is
pretty horrific.
Not as scary as Choo-Choo Charles, I don't think. Well, I mean, they're scary in slightly different ways. Five Nights at Freddy's, I think, is more just like kind of unnerving.
I've played very little of those, but
yeah, I haven't played any of those. Sorry, so you said this came out in 2024?
I don't know. Portal Revolution came out in 2024.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay,
I'm not sure what year this came out.
I was thinking like it almost feels like for a while the Slender Man game was really huge, and then people were trying to do knockoff versions of that. So it almost felt like that, but I feel like this is way after that like came and went.
2023 is when Choo-Choo Charles came out.
Okay, so that's still like way after Slender Man.
But here's sort of the chasm as I'm looking at this screen now, is that like this has a critical score on like OpenCritic or Rotten Tomatoes in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And it has a Steam score, like user review score, of a 9.
Like 9 out of 10?
9 out of 10, yeah. So people, gamers, like it more than critics do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of that, but
I don't know if that's like the mark of quality. But yeah.
Sorry, 2022 is when this came out. I got the wrong number.
It just keeps getting farther and farther back. Eventually it will be on the Slender Man territory.
1974 is when this came out.
Well, yeah, it was before Slender Man.
It played it on the Amiga.
Not just before Slender Man, it's before trains. How do they do this? Yeah. How do they have this idea?
1812 is when this came out. Yes. So I don't know. How can you regret something you spent 2.5 hours doing? I don't. It's like just seeing a movie that was disappointing.
Yeah.
So, Choo-Choo Charles. Hopefully, the rest of my Backlog Attack is all uphill from here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. You played Choo-Choo Charles, so now nobody else has to.
Now I don't have to continue looking at the weirdly menacing face of Charles on my Switch start screen.
It is really creepy looking. Like I wouldn't want to have that on my home screen.
Yeah, this should be horrifying. This should be like a really good horror game or a really funny horror game, and it's neither of those.
I think he's just too. They went too hard on him. It's like like Pennywise in the new It movies.
Yes.
He was like in the old ones, it's like, oh, I don't like that. It's like a creepy clown. And in the new ones, he's like, oh, it's a super scary clown. Look how scary he is. And it's like, I don't think he's scary anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what if he was a train also? Anyway. I think the spider legs
Choo-Choo Charles
more than the train face, the scary train face. That's very unsettling.
Yeah. It could be a giant spider game. It could be a haunted train game. It's somehow both. It's just weird. Just so weird. Who thought of this? Tell me about what you're playing, DJ. Tell me about Wizardry.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of games that came out in 1871 or whenever Choo-Choo Charles came out, I played a bunch of Wizardry. As I was saying before, it's like one of the very early dungeon crawling games. The conceit is, you've got a party of adventurers. There's some magical artifact that's been cast into this dungeon by a crazy old wizard, if I'm remembering correctly. You need to go retrieve it to get into the king's good graces, something like that. And that's what you spend the rest of the game doing. You're just making your way deeper into this dungeon, dealing with all the threats lurking down there, ranging from, the classic sort of hordes of monsters and evildoers, a bunch of traps and sort of like mysterious passages and that sort of stuff. Just really like your classic dungeon crawler. I was a little apprehensive getting into this because, it's just one of those games where I wonder if it's going to be too old. Like, am I still going to be able to enjoy this? Is it just going to have like aged poorly, since I think it came out in like early 80s, like 81 or 82, I think.
Wow.
So pretty old.
Are you playing the original, the OG 1981 version of this, or is this some like remake or modernized version of this that you're tackling?
I'm playing the update by Digital Eclipse, which came out a few years ago.
Ah, okay.
So here's the thing, though. They say that they have built the remake on top of the original game mechanics. So basically everything you're doing in the game, like all the battles and navigating the dungeon and upgrading your party and everything still works like it did in the original, but it's a modern presentation. So the UI is completely redone. There's like music now. I don't know if there was music in the original one. Everything is like fairly modern graphics, not like, cutting edge PlayStation 5 or like ray tracing and everything, but the original was like a black and white, sort of like, pixel art. There's barely any graphics, actually. It's like a lot of text on the screen. You have like that sort of classic first person view of a very boxy corridor, you know what I'm talking about? Where you just sort of like see your view of the dungeon and you navigate the maze that way. So nothing incredible. But like the new version looks great. I mean, it still has sort of that classic view, but it's all updated. You can see much more detail. Your party members all have faces and like nice art to go along with them. It's just like a very, very modern, it's like a huge update. They did a really great job in that respect. I was a little curious how it would feel to play the original version. So what I did is I went in, and I just like found some website emulating the NES version, because I think this got ported several times. I can't speak for the quality of the NES port, but I just wanted to play it for like 5 minutes, and man, it is pretty archaic. So I feel like this remake is definitely the way to go if you want to check it out. I'm like I said, they did such a great job. It feels like it could have come out like recently. It's just super responsive. It doesn't feel like an old, like super retro game at all.
Oh, cool.
The gameplay is still does feel like, oh yeah, I'm playing an RPG that was like came out in the 80s. It's very like Spartan. It's not super flashy. You don't have crazy like combat mechanics or sort of party synergy that you might expect from more recent RPGs. But like this was, it's one of the first games like this. So it's not really what I was expecting. I was expecting is just like, okay, so this is where all those other games got their ideas. And that it absolutely feels like that. Just having played this for a few hours. I mean, it really just feels like playing Dragon Quest, like the early Dragon Quest, especially.
Oh, that's interesting. Like the bones of it are already there.
Oh yeah. Like the first one, actually it was interesting playing the NES port for a little bit, because it basically just has all the same sort of like white framed menus from the early Dragon Quest games, or like a lot of NES RPGs had that same sort of like style of interface. But I loaded it up and I was like, oh yep, here we go. It's like a Dragon Quest menu, like pretty much exactly like down to the pixels. But it's been very fun just revisiting this style of game where there's like not a whole lot of like frills, and you're just there for like the dungeon crawling mechanics. It's really fun. Because I feel like I don't get this from a lot of modern RPGs. It just there's that sensation of like how far can I push my party into this dungeon? How much progress can I make? And also still be able to safely return back to town and like collect all the loot and level up my guys and everything. Because like one thing about this game is it's pretty unforgiving in terms of like when something goes wrong in the dungeon, it can get pretty bad. For instance, like I had my party of six guys and gals actually. They're all in there. We're just sort of like fighting monsters. Everything is going fine. I'm like okay, I think I can deal with this game. And you keep encountering treasure chests after like every so often after you finish a battle, a monster will drop a treasure chest, and you have to sort of like inspect it to make sure it's not trapped. Then occasionally, if there is a trap, you can try and disarm it before opening the chest. And I've been doing pretty well with this. Like I've got a thief in my party because I was one of the recommended characters. So I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, well I'll just have the thief sort of look over the chest and see if this is a problem. And then if there is, maybe he can take care of it and it'll be fine. So he's doing great. So we found all these chests. He's disarmed a bunch of them. And on one of them, he just, I forget exactly what happened. If maybe this was a trap you couldn't disarm or something, or he just failed the whatever it is. He failed like the throw because all of this is based heavily on like Dungeons and Dragons, like dice rolls and everything. So he just like had a pretty high like agility or like intellect stat or whatever, but he just had a bad dice roll this one turn, and the trap exploded and killed 3 of my party members. So it's just like, man, not even just the thief. It took out 2 of my other party members. That's crazy. So I was like, okay, well, now that I'm down half my party, I better just like limp back to town and see what I can do about this. So I go back to the town, I go to the church, and I talk to the priest or whoever is in there about resurrecting my party members, and it's so expensive. I'm just like, I can't afford this. Like, I literally cannot afford to resurrect these party members. It's not like I have the money and I want to be buying equipment with it. I just like don't have the cash. So I go to the I think the tavern, I think is where you recruit more party members. And oh man, even just recruiting more party members is expensive. So I pick up a couple free party members from the tavern. These are sort of like pre-spec'd out adventurers. I'm just like, oh man, I can't even, like, they're not even free versions who are the same classes who I need to replace from my party members who just got killed. So I forget who I ended up picking up. I got like a level 1 thief to replace the other one who just exploded, even though they were like level 2 or 3.
It just exploded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. So I go back into the dungeon. Half my party is like way under-leveled. Just more disaster befalls us. And so now it's like really bad. So I'm like limping back to town again. I've got like 2 party members who are still alive. I already know I can't resurrect the other ones, so I just like dump their bodies back at the church or wherever. And I was like, okay, this might be it for this game, because I don't know, like I don't have any money. I can't afford to hire more guys. Well, this was a great thing. Like one of the remaining free characters was another thief, I think. But since this is Dungeons and Dragons style, he had like an evil alignment. And that meant that I couldn't recruit him because I had like good aligned characters in my party. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's great. So I thought I was thinking I might have to tap out, but then I realized that I have been completely overlooking. You can go to, I think, the inn, which is next door to the tavern, and just roll your own new party members for free from level 1. I thought, oh, okay, well. So maybe I was doing it wrong when I was going about it the wrong way in the first place, buying these pre-built party members from the tavern. So I just rolled most of, like, I guess 4 out of 6 characters to replace the slots that had been vacated. So I got my balanced team composition back. I think I had 2 fighters, a thief. a priest and a couple of like mages. And then I just went back into the dungeon, being a little more conservative with the chests this time, and it's been pretty good. It's just been like doing Dragon Quest battles over and over, and just sort of like learning how the game works, because it's still like there's so much about it that is still very old school. Like,
is it turn-based in the way that you would expect like a Dragon Quest to be, or
yeah, I think it's like exactly how you would expect, or it plays exactly how Dragon Quest does. So you pick actions for all your party members,
right?
And then like everybody just goes at once based on their agility stat or whatever the speed stat equivalent is in this.
How much of these early RPGs, fantasy RPGs specifically, go back to Dungeons and Dragons? I wonder how much of the impetus of this is in D&D 1.
Well, this one for sure does. I mean, then by extension, I guess like all the other ones that were inspired by this were sort of in turn inspired by Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
But this one, I mean, I've actually never played Dungeons and Dragons, and then this made me think like maybe I should just pick up like a rule book and read through it, because I bet that would be fascinating, even if I don't even end up playing the game. But like you have all your stats, you have the alignment. Like a lot of the stuff is stuff that I sort of recognize as being from Dungeons and Dragons or other tabletop games. So that is kind of interesting, just seeing the through line from that to this into something like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy. But it's also just really interesting to see what sort of like just what was happening in RPGs at the time, like the sort of spells that you can cast, the things that you have to deal with in the dungeon. Like on top of the trapped treasure chest, there are all these secret walls that you can reveal with magic spells and keys and little like little statues that you find to unlock doors. I've read that later on in the dungeon there are like teleporters and things that get you sort of turned around. Because one of the things, like in the original game, you were expected to like make your own map of the dungeon as you progressed, because there's not really a tool to do that as you're walking around. The remake has a little, it offers you a little sort of like live map as you're walking, but it's still not just like, you still have to cast a spell to get the like a full map of what you've explored so far and like reveal your current position. It doesn't just make that available to you at all times, which is really interesting. So it's a lot of things like that where, if you play the game today or if you played an RPG today, there's no way that would have. They just have like the mini map on the screen all the time.
Right.
So stuff like that this makes it start to feel a little more dated, but it's not to the point where it's like unmanageable, I think. The biggest hurdle I foresee is that so far it feels fairly grindy, which is probably not out of character for a game back then. Like it doesn't feel too much grindier than like an old Dragon Quest game before they all got remade. But after several hours of just going through the dungeon, I'm still on like just the second level down because I've been like trying to fight monsters and earn gold so I can get better equipment. And oh man, is all the equipment super expensive? So I'm just like, I'm gonna be in here for a while before I feel really comfortable going down to the next level. That is probably the oldest school aspect of this, which sort of still remains, I think. But aside from that, I'm having a pretty good time. I'm just like enjoying playing an old school RPG again. It really does feel a lot like playing like Dragon Quest 1 or maybe 2 or 3 because you have extra party members, but you really are just like getting into random encounters and selecting a couple items from menus because you don't have like all these flashy special moves or limit breaks or anything. It's just like all the the equipment you brought in with you and just a few magic spells. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many floors are in the dungeon, but I heard it's it's not like 100 floors or anything. I feel like it's probably not gonna. It's not going to balloon into a Persona 5 or something.
No, it's not a Persona 5 kind of experience, no.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. I've not played Dragon Quest 1, but you had told me that the first Dragon Quest is like pretty reasonable in length. It's certainly nowhere near what the series kind of ballooned into later on.
Oh, yeah. The first Dragon Quest, even before the remakes, is not super long. Like, the remakes speed it up even more. But, the first one, you're just the one guy. So, they can't get super crazy with it.
Turn-based RPG with no team.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing about Dragon Quest 1. And actually, it's funny that, in this one, like, famously, you do have a party. In fact, you have 6 people in the party, which is a lot for an RPG party, in my experience.
Yeah. That is not a thing that happens in modern ones. You don't have teams that big. It's usually 4 is your limit.
Yeah. I actually really like having the 6 because you've got the front line and then you have melee fighters and then the back line, which is your spellcasters, and they are basically just there for support. You don't have a lot of magic points in this, which is really interesting. So a lot of times they're just sort of sitting there. And they're okay, I'll let you guys know when we really need that big magic spell, but just hold on to that because
save it for now, right?
Yeah, it's for an emergency. It has been because I'm so close. I mean, I'm still only on the first couple levels. It's been very easy to go back to town and recharge at the inn. So that helps. I feel like maybe once I get farther down in the dungeon, it will start to get more perilous. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just had one of my favorite experiences in RPGs, which is you're in the dungeon, you're just done all your grinding for experience or whatever, and you're heading back out to town, and you're still in pretty good shape. It's not a desperate escape back out of the dungeon or anything. And you get into this one encounter, one group of monsters tries to stop you from getting out. And you're just okay, guys, we were just leaving. We got all our magic points left. So you are just going to get nuked if you don't get out of our way. That's such a great, just oh man, just time to let loose on these guys who wouldn't let us leave. And, we're just going back to the inn to restore everything. So might as well just let them have it. It's really good.
Nice. That's fun.
So yeah, I think the remake, I can't imagine playing the original OG version of this, or even potentially some of the ports that came around in the 80s. So I'm really grateful that this remake is out there.
Cool. What are the kind of modern conveniences beyond just sort of appearance and interface?
Oh, a lot of it is in the interface. And in fact, they have a whole menu of stuff that you can toggle to just sort of tailor your experience so you can decide just how old school you want it to be.
Oh, cool.
What were those options? A lot of them are very sort of esoteric. One of them, if you get either jumped by the enemies or you get to jump on them, so basically one of you gets a free turn before the other party gets to join in. One of the options is you can't, originally you couldn't cast spells on that first turn, or I guess nobody could cast spells on the first turn, on the surprise turn for whatever reason. And there's an option to turn that off so you can cast spells. And I thought, well, that's a kind of a weird setting. But then there's other stuff I think resting at the inn is free. And there's some other stuff concerning whether when you make camp in dungeons, which is essentially just hitting the status menu. You go to camp and then it'll let you heal your party members and stuff like that. I think there's a little bit about mapping. So I don't have the whole list of stuff in front of me.
Yeah.
But I went through it before I started the game and I just thought okay, well, let's see how old school we can make this while still being playable in 2026. And it was kind of interesting. I didn't immediately switch on all the modern toggles, partially because I didn't really understand the implications of a lot of them. But then eventually, as I started playing more and more, I was okay, maybe we can switch this one on. Maybe we can switch this other one on. But I think like it gives you a couple of options starting off. You can either play it like fully old school, or you can play it with all the modern settings turned on, or you can do a custom sort of like balance between the two, which is what I ended up doing. But even with a lot of the stuff switched to the old school setting, it's still pretty playable. Like, I was really dreading it was just going to be a slog through the dungeon. But no, it's actually pretty brisk. I imagine that's part of the remake. Is I feel like they probably sped it up quite a bit, just like the battles and navigating, because it feels very snappy. But yeah, I'm enjoying this much more than I was honestly expecting to.
Awesome. Cool. What a cool little history lesson.
Yeah. There is it's funny, as you are playing it, it puts a little like miniaturized version of the original UI in the corner. So as you are looking at the modern UI, you can see like what it would have looked like playing this on like PC or whatever originally, and you can like toggle that on and off. But occasionally I'll just be like fully immersed in the modern UI and looking at like all the modern monster graphics, and just glance down in the corner and it's a bunch of like black and white pixels. Like, really, is that supposed to be the monster I'm fighting? That's crazy. That like doesn't even look like it. So that's kind of fun. I wish there was an option to like zoom that in and just have that be the full screen, but they didn't provide that for whatever reason.
Do you asking you questions you don't probably know the answer to? Do you know if anyone from the original development team was involved in the modernization of it?
I can't answer that. I know that Digital Eclipse like works pretty closely, or they try and I feel like they put in the work on these like remake projects that they do.
Sure, it's not just a license they bought.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did like the whole Atari collection.
Oh, is that it? That's cool.
Yeah, so if you think about just how like the lengths they went to make that as like thorough of an experience as it ended up being,
yeah,
I imagine that was the same sort of like effort went into this to just involve people. But I'd like to look that up now to see how involved the original team members were.
Yeah,
I just want to know where the music came from, because like the soundtrack definitely was not in the early version.
Are there any like documentary features in this, like there are in the Atari 50?
No, not that I've seen so far. Or maybe I've like brushed past them or something. But I don't think it's not. They didn't set out to make this like the Wizardry, like interactive documentary like the Atari thing. It's more just revisiting Wizardry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, nice. What's next?
So next is probably Tower of Jiraga. Just keep the dungeon crawling thing going, and then we'll skip ahead into the 21st century, or late 20th century anyway, with Omega Boost.
Excellent. Cool. I'm gonna keep plugging away at Bioshock and probably go to Portal next.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Blue Sky. We're VGHangover.com there. And you can always get show notes and links and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com. Further reminder that we are going weekly through August, so make sure you hit the subscribe button in your podcasting app of choice. We would love for you to join us on Discord. You can get a link to that at VGHangover.com. Make sure you head over to our Backlog Attack channel there to update us on the games that you're playing, and keep an eye out for side missions throughout the month of August.
Yeah.
We would encourage you to subscribe, rate, and review us on your on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube Music, anywhere else you can get a podcast. Make sure you hit the button there, and maybe help us out by telling your friends about the show.
Yeah, we appreciate that a lot. Helps us get word of the show out to new listeners. Helps us grow the audience a bit, so that would be great. What else is great?
Ray 8-Bit. Our music is great.
Thanks again to Ray 8-Bit this week for our intro and outro music. If you'd like to hear more of his work, you can go to ray8bit.bandcamp.com and get that whole discography.
We'll be back. We'll be back next week. Woo! Until then, this is Randy Dickinson.
This is DJ Ross.
Thanks for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
See you.